in one ear. So it takes a lot of sound to annoy me, where most people hear everything. I hear about half what you hear. Transformers. Who hears Transformers, by the way, when they hum? I don't. How many of you, see, I didn't know they hummed until I got a hearing aid when I was a teenager. I'm like, what is that noise? And everyone's like, what noise? I said, that hum. Oh, that's Transformers. Oh, kick that off right now. So I don't wear a hearing aid because I don't want to be annoyed with so many common noises that you might have tuned out. But here's a list that get under my skin quickly. Chewing gum like a cow. If I hear you exactly like that, I'm like, really? Really? I can hear that. So I can only imagine what everyone else is hearing. Nails on the chalkboard. I've done it occasionally myself, but we had a teacher in school that would do it and never flinch. And all the students like, why are you doing that? Sound of a dripping faucet. You know, in the middle of the nights when it starts going drip, drip, drip. And it's like, seriously? And it's always when someone puts a pan underneath it for some reason. I don't know how that happens, but it happens. Slurping sound from a straw. That also annoys my wife. She hates that. The constant clicking of a pen top. You know, click, 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 click. Now, I'll find myself doing it sometimes because I can't hear it because it's in this hand. And my wife goes, you're doing it. I'm sorry, I didn't know I was doing it. I couldn't hear it. The car alarms. Dwayne and I were on my front porch yesterday evening, and the neighbor over there's alarm was going off and off and off. And I'm like, really, dude? Are you not hearing this? I'm going to have to get up off my porch, go find out where you live in that apartment, and let you know your car alarm is going off and it needs to stop. The backup beepers on vehicles. When I worked in a factory, we heard them all the time. They had to be on every forklift, as if you couldn't see a forklift coming down backwards at you. They had to put that beep, beep, beep. Oh, my goodness. The dentist drill. I can't stand it when it's on TV, and I can't stand it in person. And finally, probably the worst one I have is the beeping of an alarm clock. You know, that beep, beep.
I'm with you on that one, Ron.
Are you? I watch a TV series, you know, or something, and they play it. And I'm like, all right, come on, turn it off. The actor, reach over and kill it. I don't have an alarm clock like that because I can't stand the alarm. It drives me up the wall. Knowing that it's going to happen drives me up the wall. So that is a list of noises that I just can't stand. Today we're going to be in Luke 18, 1 through 8. And we're going to be wrapping up our series of sermons on parables that make you go, Parables should make you think. There is deeper meaning than what Christ brought out to the listeners at that point. And today is our last one, which also is going to bring us into the ultimate weapon of every Christian, and that is prayer. And we're going to start a new series next week on prayer. So let's go into Luke 18, 1 through 8. Then Jesus told his disciples a parable to show them that they should always pray and not give up. He said, in a certain town there was a judge who neither feared God nor cared about men. So let's look at this judge for a moment, shall we? This judge has some faults, and it's obvious he has faults, but it's the same faults the worldview now has and has had since the creation of time. That is that if there really is a God, oh well, I don't fear him. If you remember, the world changed after Adam and Eve came in and had some kids, and they had two particular sons, and one didn't care about the wrath of God. He didn't. So he kills his brother, and that continues to snowball. And we get to Moses with Pharaoh, and Pharaoh goes, I don't know who your God is. I don't care who your God is. I am God. I am everything. So this judge is just like that. He's like the judges and the people we have now that we live around. They don't fear God. And when they don't fear God, they don't fear his retribution when they do things wrong. They don't fear the damnation that's going to happen to them when they leave this earth and have to face him in the judgment seat. They don't fear that stuff. And even worse, they don't fear the opinions of their own peers. They don't care what someone else thinks about them. They don't worry about what another judge says. This guy does not care. The only thing he truly, truly cares about is what benefits him. When he makes a judgment call, how is that going to benefit him? What can he gain from his judgment call. That's the only thing this judge is concerned about. And then Jesus says, there was a widow, and that town who kept coming to him with a plea, grant me my justice against my adversary. And for some time he refused. Now this would irate every good Jewish person. Because you see, the God they serve and the God we serve dictates that if there's a widow, she is to be honored, she is to be cared for, and she is to be protected. The same with an orphan. In their culture and in ours, that's how it should be, God says. If you serve me, you protect the widow. You help the widow. You protect the orphan, and you help the orphan. That is not just a wish or a desire. That was a law or a command. And they heard that, and they knew that. And they're like, listen to the story, going, whoa, bad enough this guy doesn't care about God, but now he's dissing a widow? No! What's up with that? And Jesus kind of pauses, I believe, during this point. Let it sink in. Let it soak into their hearts. So now they're angry, and they're listening. They're paying attention, because they're going, ooh, what's going to happen to this guy? He deserves death. He's going to get nailed. Jesus says, but finally, he said to himself, even though I don't fear God or care about men, yet because this widow keeps bothering me, I will see that she gets justice, so that she won't eventually wear me out with her coming. And the Lord said, listen to what the unjust judge says. And will not God bring about justice for his own chosen ones, who cry out to him day and night? Will he keep putting them off? I'll tell you, he will see that they get justice, and quickly. However, when the Son of Man comes, he will find faith. Will he find faith on earth? The obvious points. Let's look at the obvious for a moment. The obvious point says this, that we have a duty to our Lord and Savior. We have a duty. It's a command. It's a law. It's what is expected of us. God expects it. God says, look, I want you to pray. You have a duty. You have a task given to pray. We are to cry out to God day and night. We are to talk to God day and night. Some cultures, some practices believe that, okay, at this time of the day, I bow my knees and I pray to God. At this time of the day or this time of night, that's when I pray. It's a ritual. And that's all it is. But God says, no, I don't want a ritual out of you. I created the sacrifices, and the Jews created it as a ritual. God says, look, I'm pulling you out from what I started because you can find it. I don't want you just praying when the bell rings in the town. I don't want you praying when the priest says to pray. I don't want you praying just because you think now is the time. I want you praying day and night, when you're in need and when you're not in need. And it's not to get God's attention. If you're familiar with certain stories in the Bible, you're going to see Elisha, and he taunts the priests of Baal. And he says, look, you go ahead and set up your sacrifice. You go ahead and start doing what you need to do to get your God to light the fire. And then he sits back and he watches. And they're dancing and they're singing and they're praying and nothing's happening. Then they start cutting themselves. And Elisha says, really? Maybe your God's asleep. Maybe your God's not watching. Maybe your God went on vacation. You see, that was the way they thought back then, that gods took vacations. Gods went to sleep. Gods didn't always focus on everyone. Gods were limited to where they could watch. And Jesus is saying, no. You're not to cry to God to get his attention, because he's already got his attention on you. He's watching you all the time. He's watching you right now. He's with you when you woke up this morning. He was with you when you went to bed last night. And he's with you right now in this service. He's sitting beside all of us. He's surrounding us. And he says, I don't need you to get my attention. What I need you to do is recognize that I'm with you right now. That I was with you this morning. That I was with you last night. That I've been with you all last week. That I was with you from the moment your parents conceived you, I was with you. Through the 9 months of pregnancy, through everything you've ever went through in your life, I was always there, whether you realize it or not. And I will always be with you when you realize it or not, through the hard times and the wonderful times, through the times when you're taking your last breaths on your bed. I will be there, is what he says. Call out to me. Let me know you remember me as I remember you. That's what this is about. That's what Jesus is saying. And when we do this, Jesus says, by recognizing God is real and with you, you'll receive his mercy. God wants to give us mercy. God wants to be our judge and defend us. But so many times, don't we just want to do it ourselves? We want to say, God, I got this. I can handle this little problem. This is no big deal. Yeah, my neighbor's dog's pooping in the yard, God. And I could pray to you, and I could ask you to resolve that for me, but instead I'm going to pick up that dog poop and I'm going to throw it back in our yard. It's a simple little thing. God, don't worry about it. I got it. That's the things that we try to do to God. And we say, God, you're so much bigger. You're so much more powerful. Don't waste your time with this little bitty thing in my life. I can handle this. I got to go to the doctor, God. And yeah, he's going to probably put me on cholesterol medicine. Or he's going to put me on blood pressure medicine. Or I'm going to have to be on arthritis medicine. God, I got this. Don't do anything for me. God's like, wait a minute, I'm going to help you out with this. You got a problem with someone in your life. You got a problem. I want to help you with this. But you got to talk to me. You got to keep coming at me and saying, God, come on. I'm relying on you. I know it's in your time. But sometimes, God, your time is a little slow for what I need. Can you step it up a little? God's like, well, you know what? Just for you, I might do that. Just because I love you and I know now that you're waiting on me and you're loving me and you're wanting me, I'm going to help you out now. Because you've not put me off. Second thing we need to look at is the adversary. Who was attacking this lady? Who had the audacity to come against this widow in a community where that was outlawed? And why didn't the judge defend her? Until she kept coming and coming and coming, until he was like, she's at my front door knocking on my door. She's at the grocery store. I can't even have a meal in public without her going, hey, judge, come on. He finally has to give in. But who is this adversary? Well, Jesus was trying to tell the people, it's Satan. Satan was attacking this woman. And this judge was supposed to be her defender. And he wasn't. Satan is attacking us every day, every hour. If you don't believe me, how many of your thoughts wandered through the first half of this service already? How many of your thoughts have wandered during this part of the sermon? How many of you thought, oh, what am I going to do today? What happened yesterday? Should I deal with that? What's going to happen this week? You know, God, come on, I need to think about this for a minute. I need to deal with this for a minute. In the next hour, what am I supposed to be doing, God? When we allow our brains to start doing that, that's not us. That's Satan sitting there going, hey, I want to distract you. God's trying to tell you something, but I want to distract you. I want to pull you away from listening to God and allowing God and you to commune. Satan is all over us. And why not? We're trying to follow God. And he's trying to pull us away from God. So you see, Satan is attacking us mentally. He attacks us spiritually. And sometimes he attacks us physically. You don't believe me? Go over to other countries where they put false gods in their lives. And they open a door for Satan and his minions to come into these people's lives. And they torture these people. But us here, I don't know. I think we kind of call it other things at times, other than what it is. So we want to dilute it. But the truth is, Satan is very active physically in some of our lives when we open that door up and we allow him in. And that's a sermon for another time. And we'll get on it another time. But today, just understand that Satan is attacking us. And we have to go to God and say, God, he's attacking us. And he won't stop. Give me some relief, please, God. And God's going, that's great. That's what I want to hear. You realize you have an enemy out there and he's attacking and you want relief. So let me give you some relief. Now, for those out there, we understand that God is attacking other bodies of believers. We're not alone. We live in this small town. We think, hey, this might be it. But there are other bodies of believers around us in Stark County that are always under attack. Look at the different churches that fold. Look at all the congregations that are suffering because they can't find a good preacher to lead them, or their leadership is suffering. And we just look back and go, oh, well, maybe you want to come over to our church. That's very tempting, isn't it? Tell someone, if you don't like your church, come over to ours. Don't defend your church. Don't help your church grow. Just come over to ours. And we look across the world. If you go to China, China has a Christian church. And they'll tell you they do. But you know how it's ran? It's what the government tells them to teach. It's all brainwashing. And none of it is biblical. They might throw the name of Jesus out there, but I tell you, it's not biblical by their teaching at all. There's other churches that kill churches or other countries that kill churches when they try to develop. And they execute them. Our brothers and sisters in foreign countries are being killed every day. But do we realize it? Do we think about it? Do we even pray for them? Because our needs here are so great. But God says, no, pray. Pray broad. And we're going to talk about that in the next few sermons. We are to pray for our deliverance and theirs. Now for the moment. Now for that moment that Jesus didn't come right out and say, this is what this meant. But he alluded to it. Did you catch it? It's in the last verse. And it's hidden, but yet it's very broad and open and visible if you look for it. He says this, however, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on the earth? What is he saying? Of course he's going to find faith, because he knows that when he goes up to heaven, his apostles, his students are going to spread the word everywhere. And thousands on thousands on thousands are going to come to him pretty quickly. And the world is going to change, and he knows this. But that's not the moment he's talking about. He's talking about the end of days when he comes back. Will he find faith? Will he find true believers? When I was in Boy Scouts, we had a law. It's called the Scout Law. And it's a way that we were to live. It was a way that we were to show the community we are Scouts without wearing our little Scout uniforms and getting made fun of by our peers. So here's what we had to live by. And there's a reason why this was created. This was created during World War II, the Scouts War. They were to prepare the next generation coming up to be the men so that the society would be better. So here's the Scout law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. I couldn't recite all that from memory. It's been a long time. But that is the Scout law. So a Scout is to live by that. That is his creed. That is his code of ethics. And if he doesn't, he's not a Scout. And if he's caught living outside that, the Scout leader is to correct him, to bring him back. His Scout troop is to bring him back and tell him, that's not how we behave here. We live by this code that is above what the world says to live by. We live by a code that is far above what everyone else says we should live like. We need to be representative. And Jesus says, that's what I want to find when I come back. But will I find it? Jesus is giving us a glimpse of what the end of times is going to look like. He's going to come back, and he's already telling us, look, my believers, my followers, my siblings, because we're the children of God, just like he is, my siblings are going to be persecuted. My siblings are going to have to go in hiding probably. And it's going to be so easy, so very easy to walk away from it. And he knows that's what could happen. He can see the future. And he knows the torture that we're going to go through. He's like, guys, will I find these people? Will they be as plentiful as they were when you guys first started the church? Will they be as plentiful as they were when the world said, yes, this is a good way to live? Will they be? So let's look at who he's looking for when he says, hey, will I find them? Here's who he's looking for. Loyal followers. He's looking for loyal followers. Not ones who are easily swayed by teachings other than the truth. That is the Word of God. Now you have to be very careful when you buy a Bible today, because there's so many versions out there, and so many of them have been tainted. And I'm not talking from King James to NIV to ESV and all that. Those originals, they're still good. I'm talking about the brand new NIV. how many of you are aware that it has changed? They have changed it to the point that homosexuality is no longer bad. You read in there and you'll find that that's okay. And other things that the world says perfectly okay, the organization who's now writing the NIVs have tweaked it, twisted it, so that the new person reads that and says, well, that's not what I read. God doesn't say that's bad. God says that's acceptable. You have to watch these versions because people are human and they're driven sometimes by greed and Satan, and they'll twist. And it gets twisted and twisted to the point of, what is truth? God said, I'm looking for a loyal person who understands what is truth and will follow the truth and not be swayed by false truths. Just because it looks good, it sounds good, or it's easy. The second one is trustworthy followers. God's looking for followers who he knows he can trust by bringing in people into their lives, and the person who's trustworthy will say, hey, God, I'm going to do whatever I can to help this person out, to know you. I'm going to use every gift you've given me. I'm going to use every talent you've given me to grow your kingdom. That's who Jesus is looking for when he comes back. That's who he is expecting when he comes back. But will he find them? Well, no, I certainly hope so. And finally, the committed followers. We've been blessed in our time periods to grow up into a nation that does not kill us off, that does not persecute us, does not make true fun of us in a bad, bad way that we are ashamed of who we are. We've grown up and been blessed in that nation. In a time that we still are loved and needed. But there's going to come a time, Jesus says, that that's not going to be the case. And that could be tomorrow, that could be next week. I don't know when that's going to be. But it's going to come. And he's looking for people who are committed. That no matter how hard it gets, no matter how ugly their life gets, no matter what Satan throws at them, they don't give up on God. Yet, I'm sure like you and I, we can name a few people that we know have fallen into that and said, oh, nope, it's too ugly now. I'm giving up, God. You're not with me anymore. I'm sorry, I'm out of here. What we need to do is, as committed people, find them and bring them back. Whatever it takes, however long it takes for us to do that, our mission is to go out there and bring them back. Let them know God has not forsaken them. Pray with them. Pray for them. Because God says, I'm looking for three qualities in my people. Loyal, trustworthy, and committed. Let me leave you with this. Life is short. God doesn't promise us anything. But he does promise us if we're faithful to him and we're constantly talking to him, his mercy, his grace, his love will abound in us, for us, and when we get to heaven, the promise of good and faithful servant, welcome into my kingdom. Welcome to your life for eternity. But can you imagine someone who doesn't get to hear that? And you know who they might be. And you know their destination and what it's going to be. I wonder, how can we live with that? Knowing that someone else is not going to get that reward. How can we live with that? Let's close in prayer today.